Hey, I'm Marcus.
And I'm Lucy, and we're from the Drab Doo Riffs. Okay, so we're about to release our third EP. 3 EPs, no album just yet. There is an album in the pipeline, but we do EPs because I think they're more representational of us as a band. Because they're short, they don't drag on, we don't let them become boring. You know, it's all about fun times.
Small, fast-hitting package.
Yeah.
And everyone seems to these days put out an EP and then an album. And
Yeah.
I think we're just doing things in our own time and taking our own path.
How we wanna do it.
I think we just seem to prefer the EP format at the moment.
Yeah.
And saving up something special for an album, maybe a little bit further down the track.
Yeah. But this EP's on vinyl, though. That's different from the other 2 EPs, and that's a little bit more special.
When's the vinyl arriving?
It's
Vinyl's arrived.
It's arrived.
It's arrived, so that came all the way from Nashville.
Yeah.
And luckily it got here on time.
Yes, we had some troubles. There was ticks on the B-side, so they had to remake them.
Yeah, so there was a potential chance that we wouldn't have any vinyl at our vinyl release. But now that's all been taken care of, so that's great.
Yeah.
So Marcus, I remember sitting at Whammy one night and you telling me about this new band that you're starting with the guy from Supergroup, and I remember saying, wow, that sounds real cool, but thinking in my head, it sounds like a total abomination. But tell us a story about how it will happen.
I've known Carl for quite a few years, and he got back from England, and basically we were at a friend's house, and he just sort of told me he'd been working on a bunch of songs and recorded them on a 4-track, but he was quite keen on the idea of putting a band together, and why not? He's a very interesting fella, and once, I heard the songs, I thought, yeah, that sounded really cool and had the potential to do something really interesting with. And he'd sort of, mentioned a few other people he was thinking of approaching, like Lucy here. And so it was just like, why wouldn't you,
So what did you think Lucy and Carl first approached you about it?
Well, I met him on the street, and then he got my number, and
So he didn't even know you?
No, he
Right.
knew. He knows my family.
Right.
He knew my family, but I'd never met him before. And yeah, he kind of was like, just listen to these demos, and if you think they're okay, then come and have a practice and stuff. And I listened to the demos, and I thought they were pretty weird, but I was just so excited to at the idea of playing electric guitar, because I'd been playing acoustic folk shit for so many years. And so I just wanted to give it a go. And yeah, when we first started practicing, I kind of was like, what the fuck, because the songs are pretty weird. But then it was just so fun and awesome. And yeah.
wasn't quite the abomination
Not an abomination at all.
Andrew thought it might be.
Yeah, but I understand what you mean though, because it does, when you talk, people ask about what does the band sound like and blah, blah, blah. It's so hard to describe, and, it does sound weird when you talk about it. So you just, I don't know, you have to just see it. Watch us live.
So let's talk about the aesthetic of the band. It's kind of like you were saying before, is a kind of a mesh of all the things that you like.
Yeah, totally. I guess it's a bit of a genre mash right across the board. Really, I guess musically, we tend to kind of combine a lot of our biggest influences. As well as aesthetically with the artwork and stuff. Is you can see this sort of a genre mashup of different styles.
So who would those people be, do you think?
Musically?
Yeah.
I think it's more genres, eh?
Yeah.
It's
it's blues,
surf,
punk,
country, garage
rock and roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really hard to pinpoint, isn't it?
Yeah, the flavours come through on almost every song. You notice on every EP there's sort of one of those sort of sub-genres takes a tiny little step to the forefront and back again by the next. But, it's very... I guess a lot, it's very deep rooted in the blues and early rock and roll and what kind of spawned out from that, and same with our German ethos and the way we like to put out things like vinyl and real handmade kind of cover work and all the rest,
So you're the man behind the drawings on the or they put the images on the covers, aren't you?
I am.
So what's your inspiration around that art?
I think, I'm just trying to represent the collective of the band the best I can, and with something that suits us and what we're into. There's,
So
classic old world sort of etchings meets sci-fi, horror, surf, mishmash kind of shit.
Yeah, and like every EP has a different theme of the band. Like the last one was more sci-fi based, and so it had the aliens and everything. And then this one's, got the Western thing going on. So Spock's in a poncho. And
a mythology of reoccurring kind of characters and themes in there. But, it's all fun. I guess with our releases, we like to kind of make something that you can hold in your hand physically, and sort of take it back a couple of decades now.
Yeah.
So it's not all just downloadable shit you put on a fucking disc and that's it.
But it's the thing, isn't it? Like, people have massive collection of MP3s, but that's all they got.
Yeah, I personally like records.
Yeah.
And I like the artwork that comes with records. I'm sure Lucy feel the same. And I guess, me and Lucy were talking earlier about just that great joy when we were younger. When you were into bands, you just collected whatever you could, whether it being, a magazine with a photo, because that's all you had to really gauge your perception of the band was what little you could find in magazines and on television clips.
And these days it's kind of, harder to kind of make a proper image, do you know what I mean? And that's what made it so exciting, is that you didn't know fucking everything about a band, They had their image and you got their record and you saw a picture and the way they wanted to look, and it made them much more exciting. It made them fucking much more, you could idolize them a lot more, and they were just much cooler. And that's,
Now they tweet and everything is on YouTube. Every fucking interview you could possibly want is on YouTube.
And the magic fucking is disappearing due to...
Back in the day, if you got like a bootleg video of your favourite band on a German TV show, a group of 10 people would cram into your lounge and everyone would just be hanging on a whim to see this special bit of footage.
Fuck yeah, totally.
And I put this right back to like albums. It's like, it's cool to have some little piece of history and some cool kind of, thing to remind you of this from your past or whatever, I always remember being really excited by buying albums and those magazines, where now, it's just sort of almost throwaway for so many people.
Hey, thanks for watching. This is our EP. It's out next week. Fistful of Doo-Riffs.
You're watching the cheese.